Welcome back to Ozarks Tonight. Well, Steve Pokin of the Springfield News Leader is joining us once again in the studio today. And Steve, you have been on the case trying to investigate the story behind a letter that a Springfield man found at a thrift store when he was going through.
Yeah, and it's hoping, it's somewhat timely because it involves a presidential inauguration. And as we know, there's going to be one coming up with probably more security than this nation has ever seen.
Yeah.
But this one took place a while ago. It was brought to my attention by Bill Pearsall, who's a local history buff. He lives in Springfield. And he tells the story, and it was a couple months ago. He goes to a lot of thrift stores, usually on Sunday afternoons. And he was at one, and he saw in the discarded area, the trash area, an old filing cabinet. And what caught his eye, he tells me, was that it had some unusual brass handles on it. So he stopped to take a look, and he thinks I'm not sure 100% why, he thinks it was an Army cabinet. It was the color green. It looked like an Army, but he says it could have been an Army filing cabinet. So he just kind of opened it, and something was stuck between the drawers. And he looked at it, and it was a invitation to a local guy by the name of Howard Pettibon to the January 20th, 1953 inauguration of Dwight David Eisenhower. And it was on a big envelope. This envelope wasn't mailed, but it has his name handwritten on it. And you open it up, and it's all this kind of decorative script. You are invited to the inauguration. So Eisenhower with his vice president. You remember who his vice president was?
Richard Nixon.
Richard Milhouse Nixon. So, so Bill called me, and he tried to figure out. He figures this should be in the family. You know, he doesn't know if it's worth anything. I don't know if it's worth anything, but it's a little piece of history that somehow got in this filing cabinet. He didn't take the filing cabinet, but he took this, and he tried to find the Pettibon family. Couldn't, called me. So he wasn't that hard to find. You know, we have city directories. The oldest one we have is 62. So I saw Mr. Pettibon listed in that, and he lived on Sunshine Street. And then he appears several times in our archives and stories. And it's amazing to me, in looking through old newspapers, is one of the things is the breadth of our coverage, the things that were in the paper, you know, things that we don't have the resources to cover anymore. And frankly, sometimes I wonder if there was all that much interest in some of the things that we spent a lot of time on. Now we know, because we can see online what stories people are reading. But Mr. Pettibon was a branch manager for various paper companies. They sold paper. And he was here in the 60s. And through his life, he was a golfer. You know how I know that? Because he had a hole-in-one, and it was in the paper. And it was at Twin Oaks. I found his obituary. He died in 1983, I think, at the age of 71. And it mentions that he was a charter member of Twin Oaks. And but his obituary lists his kids, and they're all like in their 70s and 80s now. And so I got a hold of a daughter who now lives in Camdenton. And we talked about him, and she was just thrilled that this link to her dad was there. And I mentioned the hole-in-one, and she told me the story. She said, actually, he had 2 holes in one. The second one he kept secret. I go, why is that? Well, he got home early from a business trip, and instead of going back to work, he went golfing, and he got a hole-in-one, and he couldn't tell anybody. And I said, okay, and why would he get this invitation? I don't know how many invitations go out to inaugurations. I would think now it's a lot to people who are supportive, people who give money. And she said in 1953 she was only 4 years old. She knew her parents were Republicans. Her dad was a Shriner, he was a Mason. But she was too young to know if he... She got an older sister who was 13 in 1953, and she called her. And according to the older sister, she has no recollection of her dad ever going to Washington, D.C. for Eisenhower's first inaugural. There were he was subsequently reelected, so he had 2 inaugurations. So my best guess is that he was invited, and he didn't go. And Mr. Pearsall is going to take it from here and give those documents to the daughter who lives in Camdenton.
It'd be interesting if there's anyone living in the area that might know more about maybe why he received that invitation in the first place. If they could reach out and let us know and kind of put the pieces together, complete the story, because that is cool. It's just one of those, you know, dream finds, I guess you would have at the thrift store. You hear stories about stuff like that.
Yeah,
jammed in the back of a, you know, filing cabinet.
I was curious, and I tried to get a number on how many people were at that inauguration. I couldn't get a number, but there are archives of his inaugural speech, so I watched that in black and white, and they showed, you know, they showed the crowd, and it looked like it was very well attended. And in 1953, some of the issues were the same, and one in particular kind of jumped out at me, the concern over the future use and the future of the planet because of the atomic bomb, which was relatively new at the time.
Yeah. When is the story coming out? Sunday? Is this going to be Sunday?
It's coming out Sunday, and I will have you know that that will be my 1,000th column.
All right.
As a poking around in Answer Man, number 1,000.
All right. Well, congratulations from us. That is quite the milestone. I'm sure viewers at home want to pass on their congratulations as well. Really cool.
Thanks.
All right, Steve. Well, thanks for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
All right. We'll be back with more Ozarks Tonight right after this.